Hi guys, this is going to be my first video of safety and how to save a life, yours and someone else's, or being in jail or getting a ticket. Does that catch your attention? I stayed looking all beautiful as I do after a bike ride. Yes, I thought I would just stay in character. Got back from a bike ride with performance. And I was riding the other day and this inspiration came to me to do this video. And it's designed to help us understand one another and to realize we're all on the same team. What am I talking about? As a cyclist, I've almost died many times. I have had a few accidents. I've cracked a couple helmets, had a couple concussions. You ask, why do I ride? Well, this could happen doing anything, right? My last concussion wasn't my fault. That was on a motorcycle. Totally got T-boned. That's another story. Anyway, so there are things we know as drivers. There are things that bother us. There are things we know as bikers, and there are things that bother us. So I'm here to be a liaison, if you will. I do have a human resource background. And to better understand one another, and again, to save a person's life. Too many cyclists die. Too many drivers die. So let's do what we can to really be aware and to prevent, right? We can prevent this from happening. So just a couple to start with. I'm going to ask my friends for some of their pet peeves. So I'm just going to start with a couple. As I was, again, inspired a couple days ago as I almost got hit. How did I almost get hit? Well, I was in my biking lane, and there's one lane on Sepulveda, and it's full of traffic. This was during the week. And it's very risky and scary as a rider, and we try and do everything we can to be very safe. I'm in my lane and I see, luckily, I start to notice this big SUV inching its way, cutting kind of into my lane for no reason. There's no turn lane, there's not a light coming. You're frustrated with traffic, I get it. Get on a bike then. But don't do that. Look behind you, and even if there's no one there, someone can be there soon, as I was. And he inched, and I had to stop abruptly. And I wasn't even going fast. I slow down when I see a lot of traffic, and my heart starts to go because we have to be more careful. Anyway, I had to stop, and I tapped on his car of like, hey, you need to be aware. I don't remember if I tapped that guy or a different guy. Basically, we do that when like, dude, you don't see us. I'm letting you know. You almost just killed me. So if somebody does that to you, just realize, whoa, I just got spared because I could have hurt somebody badly. So my first one is don't inch into the bike lane when it's not necessary, and it's never necessary. Along with that, if you have another lane next to you and nobody's there, like nobody's in sight, and you see a cyclist, why do you have to get so close to the cyclist who's in their bike lane? Not necessary. Remember the power of a car and the air that gets sucked up. I'm not a chemistry person, but you feel it. You get pulled into it. So please give some space. Even if there is a car next to you, there's enough space where you can kind of move over. I do that for cyclists because I know what it feels like. So that's my whole long number one is the bike lane. Please respect it. On the other side, I want to be fair. Cyclists, please be aware when there are lots of cars and it's tough for them to get around and maneuver around us. And most of the people, well, the people I ride with are really conscientious about riding in single file during those times. But I have seen a couple people here and there that are a little oblivious. So I will say cyclists need to be careful with doing that too. So the next one is give a break and try to understand the reasoning. What do I mean by that? There are a couple times where I go right before the light's going to turn because I know there's a lot of traffic behind me and I want them to see me. And I don't go when the other people are going, obviously, and I stop at the red lights. Cyclists, please do stop at the red lights. You're giving us a bad rap when you just speed right through them. So that's not right, not legal, obviously. But I'm also mentioning this because there are moments in the strategy for a cyclist to not get hit, depending on what's going on, that you might need to go so that you can be seen. So my number two is cut us a break. There's a reason sometimes why we do certain things. So as a driver going, oh, they just break the rules. look at the situation and kind of see, oh, I kind of get it because the traffic and they need to cut over because it's a right turn lane and they need to go straight, but they couldn't get over in time because it's all backed up. A lot of times there's a reason. So try to understand there's something there that basically we're saying, how can I save my life right here? So those are a couple of them. I did have a third one, and there will be others. Maybe that's good for now. There will be others, and I just want to share these thoughts again, so we realize we're on the same team. Like let's ride and drive safely, carefully, thinking about one another, and again to spare life. There's no reason why we should be having these accidents happening. So I thank you so much for listening. If you have ideas for the driver or for the biker, please let me know. I'd like to do a series of these because I get very inspired when things keep happening that don't need to be. So please look around. I know it's super hard to see us sometimes. I even had a motorcyclist almost hit me as a cyclist. No one was around. He came really wide. And I'm like, hey, I had to scream. So I thought, dude, of all people, you know what it feels like to not be seen often. Well, that's how the cyclist is. So, you know, we do everything to try to be smart, to be safe, and we just need to work together on this. Okay. Well, thanks so much. Again, if you have ideas, please let me know. I'm at Erica, Erika, forgot my name for a second, Erika.Toraya, T as in Tom, ORAYA3 @gmail.com. I'd love to hear from you. And again, I'm going to be asking some of my friends, and we're all drivers. So as drivers, you know, we want to be careful with the cyclist because as cyclists, we know what it feels like. My last and final thing, which was going to be my first thing, is if you don't know what it's like to be on the road as a cyclist, please go out and try it. I'm not saying go out on Sepulveda or Lincoln or any of these streets where I've almost died, but to go somewhere just to feel it. Borrow a bike with a helmet, wear a helmet always, and see what it feels like. You're vulnerable. You do not have the amount of what a car is around you protecting you. You've got nothing. So try it. See what it's like when you're vulnerable to the environment. Which leads me to one more. I said I'd stop at the two. Here's a third one. Don't honk at a cyclist, please. I did have this is a true story. Something happened. I was clearly in my lane, like in the middle of the bike lanes. Actually, a bike lane. There aren't many of those. And this big SUV honked. And there was a group of us. We were all kind of single file. And I'm like, okay, I got to say something. So we stopped at the light and I said, excuse me, I was in my lane. I'm not sure why you honked. She said, oh, it just seemed really close. And I said, well, just so you know, when you honk, it's really loud to the cyclists. And she said, I'm sorry. I got kind of nervous. I said, okay, thank you. And thanks for caring about our safety. And the gal behind me said, you were clearly in your bike lane. So I was glad I did it in a kind way. And I let her know honking is super loud and really scary to cyclists, especially when they've done nothing wrong. So if you're a fearful or scared driver, give yourself some room. Give the cyclist some room. And don't honk just because you're nervous. Talk yourself through it if you need to. Like, I'm okay, they're okay, I'll go slow so they know I'm here. And with that, I want to add thank you, a huge thank you. So many of you are so great about, I'm going to slow until I make sure there's a spot where I can pass around them. And not to speed and, get upset, but they literally give us some space and time. And I just thank you so much. I always say thank you because we just so appreciate good, kind drivers who do that and who care about our safety. So many of you out there do care, and I do want to extend a big thank you and appreciation for that. I see you, I recognize it, and I feel it. And I definitely feel the wind of someone coming way too close to me. And those are the people I'm like, you've never ridden on a bike, have you? No, or else you would never do that because there's a whole nother lane you could have taken. To not get so close to me when I'm in my lane or when there's a little bit of a shoulder. We're in some parts of town that don't have a bike lane, so cut us some space if you would. I've already said that, I know, I'll stop saying that. Okay, so, well, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Let me know of your ideas, erica.toraya3 @gmail.com, and we're out. And there's Misty. Say hi, Misty. Okay, well, anyway, we'll talk to you soon. Have a great day.